What up, world? It's your boy Laos, back with another video for Candy Kids. This video is going to be about learn from other people's mistakes, don't make them. And you got to think before you do, don't do, and then think. So when you kind of coming up and you off to the side, you the loner, you gotta be smart. You still gotta be witty, and you have to take advantage of what's around you. And you might not have the necessary influences directly around you, so you're gonna have to learn from people directly or indirectly. And I was taught and I learned that, pardon me, if you want to have a successful life, you have to watch people go through it, see what worked for them, see what didn't work for them, and apply that to yourself. If you see anybody that's doing something well, you study them. Like for example, Floyd Mayweather. He's one of my favorites. I respect Floyd. There's some things I don't agree with him about his personal, but that's his personal, so I don't really get into that. But for the most part, Floyd I use as an inspiration. He was somebody I chose to learn from for a couple of reasons. One, how he kept his family together. Like, he made sure that his uncles was good, that his dad is good, that his sisters is good, that his mom was good. He went out there and developed his own business and bought himself out his own he bought himself out the contract he had that he wasn't happy with. And he actually paid $700,000 to get out of his contract, and just in 3 fights, when he got on his own, he made over $750 million in those 3 fights. Because he was telling Bob Arum, who he was signed to at the time, he wanted to be promoted bigger and globally, not just locally. He believed in himself that he was a bigger star, so he bet on himself. As opposed to some of the fighters that came before him. So he was able to see what they went through and see how Muhammad Ali ended up, how Joe Louis ended up, how Tyson ended up, Roy Jones ended up. He's seen these guys and he realized he didn't have to be that same person with the promoters taking the lion's share and leaving a fighter without anything. Because when you're a fighter, you don't get the health insurance, you don't get no pension, there's no retirement plan for a boxer. Thanks to Bernard Hopkins, he came along with being business savvy and started managing himself, and he kind of like sparked the ideas and the other guys. And then, you know, if you paid attention, like Floyd, I know he paid attention to what was going on in hip hop, and he decided to develop his business model. So I paid attention to him. Even though I'm not around him, I was able to watch him from a distance and say, yo, I want to do some of the things he does. I want to believe in myself the way he believes in himself, right? So you grab people, you grab people that you can learn from in life, you know, and you can mirror after. You don't have to go through the things. You don't have to take those losses. You could just see what happens. You know, you don't have to be the gang. You don't have to join a gang because you came up in foster care. Because a lot of times people join gangs because it's like another family outside the family that they have from what they lack, right? So they join a new brotherhood, right? And that's really what a gang is. It becomes their family. Now, that doesn't always work out for people. You know, you may end up in jail because the people you following are probably doing things that are illegal, and kind of dangerous, because you really putting your life on the line when you join those type of situations, when you get into a gang, because you're gonna have to do things to people. You're gonna have to rob. You're gonna have to sell drugs. You're gonna have to kill, and you gotta be willing to do the jail time. I looked at most of the people that ended up in gangs where I was from, and it didn't end in a good way. It always ended in a bad way. So I never wanted to be a part of the gang. I didn't have to join the gang to know that I'm gonna have beef with somebody else just because of the people I'm associated with. So I learned you only really get in trouble from the people you around. When you by yourself, you don't really get into trouble. Whenever I had fights when I was younger or stuff, it was because of my friends coming to get me because they had an issue. It wasn't vice versa. Because if you treat people how you want to be treated, then you won't run into those issues. If you cool and you show people respect, whenever something goes down, they're gonna take that into consideration. So they won't bring you the problems, so they know you don't bring problems. You're not for that. So I was able to watch those people and not go through it. And then I was also fortunate to have gangsters from my neighborhood that kind of kept me out of that. They said, no, this is not for you. You go to school. You don't do what we did. You don't have to do what we did. Right? It's a different time. You have different opportunities. Take advantage of your opportunities. It's okay to be you. And I thank the gangsters that I came up under that made sure I didn't become a gangster. They didn't allow that for me. They wanted better for me. And I love them for that. Because I wouldn't be who I am today without them. And the other part I want to talk about is think before you do things. Don't do things and then think. Don't just react. Every action causes a reaction, but you have to have a pause in the middle of that reaction. And you better know what you're doing. You better, because in the court of law, I didn't know is not a defense. Ignorance is not a defense. It's not an excuse. You have to figure out things before you move. That comes with patience. So you gotta move calculated. Life is about taking calculated risks. Not just risks, but calculated risks. If you do things before you think, you can really do yourself some real damage. You got to take into account of everything that's going on around you, everything that's involved, everything that can happen to you based off of what you do. These things are real. You don't want to be that person that says, "Oh, I wasn't aware." That's like you go out and you drive a vehicle without insurance, and you have alcohol in your system, and you kill somebody. You're going to jail. You run into somebody. You have to know what the laws are. If you get on a motorcycle and you ride on a motorcycle, or if you take your car to the track, you're not covered by your insurance. You are putting yourself at risk. And you know what I'm saying? You are responsible for that. Because that's outside of what insurance is for. But you have to know these things. You have to think about everything that comes into play. And then you avoid a lot of things. So these things I had learned young when I was coming up to avoid and to keep me out of a lot of trouble. Not going through it, watching other people go through it, and thinking about what you're about to do before you do it, not after the fact. These things will help you guys when you come up, because being a loner, you can't afford any losses. You don't have I'll bounce back, or I'll get a second chance. Ain't no room for failure when you by yourself. It's just you. So the smarter you are, and the quicker that you adapt, the better it will be in your future. You don't want to hurt your future. If you get a felony when you're young, that's going to cut a lot of things out of your future that you could have applied for. You could have been a police officer, an MC, worker. You could have worked for sanitation. You could have worked for courts. You could have done a lot of other things, even hospitals. You could have done a lot of things that you're going to be cut off for because of something that happened when you was a young guy. So think before you do, guys, and learn from other people's mistakes. Don't make them.